Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Gebo the Shaman, and today we are talking about, we're reading from the book called Thunder Shamanism. It's called Thunder Shamanism, the Indo-European Medicine Wheel. So we'll be reading part 1 of that. We'll be reading, this is a multi-part series, so going to eventually finish the whole book, but today we'll just be reading a short piece. So, if you are curious about the artwork behind me, right over there, that is done by Jen Carley. You can check her out at Jen Carley Art on Instagram. So Jen Carley Art, JenCarleyArt, and check him out, or check her out. Sorry. Yeah, so she's a great artist, and you can actually see the painting or the artwork behind me on her Instagram. So check it out. All right, and then so let's get into Thunder Shamanism, the Indo-European medicine wheel. So let's begin. Modern Homo sapiens, humans, are believed by science to have emerged around 100,000 years ago in southeastern Africa. According to the latest scientific opinions, modern Homo sapiens were the first human species, perhaps the first creatures on planet Earth, who developed religious thought and ritual. A climate change around 50,000 years ago that transformed the Sahara Desert into a grassland savanna attracted grazing animals, which attracted the first modern humans, who then, being able to safely cross the Sahara plains in successive waves, migrated out of Africa into the northern hemisphere for the first time in their history as a species. These first modern humans entering the Middle East, Asia, and Europe for the first time brought with them their unique understandings of the cosmos, which spawned all of the ancestral religions and their descendants, which are in existence today. These first ancestors of all people alive today followed the first ancestors of all people alive today followed a spiritual belief system which modern academia calls animism. Animism comes from the Latin word animus, which is often loosely translated as spirit or consciousness. Animism believes that all things in manifested reality, whether they be plant, animal, rocks, insects, trees, clouds, mountains, oceans, thunder, rain, lightning, ghosts, spirits, illnesses, and even ideas, all possess an animus, or a conscious spirit, with which we humans can interact and communicate. The animist spiritual practitioner is someone who has been called by the ancestors to act as a conduit through which humans can communicate and interact with all the forces of nature. An animist practitioner in modern society is more commonly known as a shaman. And just a second, guys. Okay, so animist practitioner in today's society is more commonly known as a shaman. The traditional shaman acted as an intermediary who helped the tribe locate food, game, water, shelter, as well as heal diseases of all kinds, whether that be of a spiritual, mental, or physical nature. the origin of the terms shaman and shamanism. Let's see. The word shaman is from the indigenous Siberian animist religion called Tangerism. A shaman is a Tangerist priest or priestess who acts as an intermediary between the spiritual and physical realm. In order to be called a shaman, in Tangerist society, one must be called by the ancestors and subsequently trained and initiated by a recognized Tangerist priest, master shaman, before one can rightly be called a shaman. This is also true for virtually every traditional animist practitioner worldwide throughout history, whether they be called shaman, wizard, sifu, witch, guru, magus, babalawo, etc. Excuse me on the words, not my, gonna have a hard time pronouncing some of these words. So let's go on. Okay, let me grab a drink first. Okay. Technically speaking, it is inaccurate to use the term shaman outside of the Tangerist religion. Nevertheless, this is the word most commonly used in modern society when referring to any animist practitioners. The appropriation of this term goes back to the 18th century, when European Christian missionaries traveled to Siberia and witnessed Tangerist priests, shamans, practicing their art. As a result, the European missionaries appropriated the terms shaman and shamanism. They appropriated shaman and shamanism to represent any and all forms of animist practices, regardless of cultural or spiritual affiliation. So this is important to know. Everybody thinks of a shaman as being a Native American, so it's important to know that, shamanism was common in all prehistoric cultures. So, let's see here. European missionaries appropriated the term shaman and shamanism to represent any and all forms of animist practices, regardless of cultural or spiritual affiliation. It is important that the reader understand that I do not wish to give the impression that I am teaching anything related to what is often referred to as Native American shamanism. I have not been formally trained in any Native Americans or Siberians, for that matter, by any Native Americans or Siberians, for that matter. It is well known that many Native Americans take great offense at the use of the word shamanism in regard to their native practices. While it is true that Native American religions often contain animist components, that does not mean that they are influenced by Siberian Tangerism. Therefore, Native practitioners are right in pointing out that their religions are not formed by are not forms of shamanism. All right. Even though it is technically inaccurate to use the terms shaman and shamanism outside the Tangerist culture, rightly or wrongly, these are the words that most commonly understood in modern Western society to describe animism and animist practices. So for the sake of effective communication, I will use the terms shaman and shamanism in this modern anthropological fashion to describe the animist concepts and practices contained in this book. My apologies for any unintended offense by my use of these terms. Even though I use these terms in this way, my main goal is to actually help repair the harm that has been done to native practices in modern times by ignorant, albeit well-meaning, Westerners. One way to reverse this destructive trend is to educate modern Westerners of their own animist heritage. By doing so, this may reduce the numbers of people unintentionally causing offense to natives by unknowingly adopting pseudo-Native American practices in the honest attempt to connect to legitimate animist spirituality. So while I am knowingly misusing the terms in this book and in other books and videos and websites, I do so for the sole purpose of educating people in the animist concepts that were once shared by all peoples. I have considered replacing shaman with animist and shamanism with animism, but since my goal is to educate as many Westerners as possible in their own animist heritage, it is expedient for me to use the terms which they are most familiar with in order to reach the greatest amount of people. Once again, my apologies for any unintended offense by my use of these terms. So then we'll go into animist healing. So animist healing. The animist method of healing seeks to understand the nature of the imbalance causing the illness. The shaman, by means of communicating with the body, the ancestors, the spirits, or even the disease itself, uncovers methods and remedies whereby the patient can regain his or her natural state of balance, which will result in harmony and health. Animism sees manifested reality as a constantly shifting interplay of a myriad of forces involved in a dynamic dance of creation. Since all existence in animist belief is thought to contain a conscious spirit, the animist practitioner seeks to maintain. Crap! I lost my place. Okay, I'll be right back, guys. I need to pause this, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Let's continue. Animist healing. The animist method of healing seeks to understand the nature of the imbalances causing the illness. The shaman, by means of communicating with the body, the ancestors, the spirits, and even the disease itself, uncovers methods and remedies whereby the patient can regain his or her natural state of balance, which will result in harmony and health. Animism sees manifested reality as a constantly shifting interplay of a myriad of forces involving a dynamic dance of creation. Since all existence in animist belief is thought to contain a conscious spirit, the animist practitioner seeks to maintain a dynamic balance with these forces, which sometimes can seemingly act chaotically and destructively to humans. By communicating with these dynamically opposing forces, the shaman discovers the most beneficial ways in which he and his fellow humans can cooperate with the dance of nature and achieve a temporary state of harmonious independence, harmonious interdependence. Since all of the cosmos is in constant motion and metamorphosis, the shaman understands that maintaining harmonious balance with the cosmos is an ongoing endeavor which is renewed on a daily or even momentary basis. So there's always, we always have to strive to keep balance and not let, complacency and things like that get in the way. Because things can, shift from harmonious to disharmonious. So, let's see here. This is a very long-winded way of me saying that shamanism, animism, is the original human religion. It is also a highly effective spiritual strategy for human survival that worked extremely well for the last 100,000 years. But very recently in human history, around 2,000 years ago, human civilization made its official entry into the modern era, which made a revolutionary and radical departure in religious thought. Humans began seeing themselves as being separate from their environment. They began to see the natural world as being hostile to their very existence. This departure from our animist roots of seeing humans as an integral part of all creation created a massive shift in thinking and action which has had undeniable and in some cases tragic, irreversible effects on all levels of existence. After over 25 years of intense study, practice, instruction, and research into various shamanic disciplines from around the globe that retain an unbroken connection into prehistory, I believe I have discovered an underlying universally applicable science of life force energy that transcends culture, religion, ethnicity, and it is my desire to share this knowledge with all those who wish to experience the power of spirit with which the ancestors knew and lived. Ancestors once knew and lived. And I think I will end it there, guys. That's been about, 15 minutes or so. So I'm going to end it there. And then next time we'll go into the ancestors and things like that. So, so stick around for part 2 tomorrow. And we will see you then. Once again, I'd just like to let you guys know that I am a Vedic astrologer. I do a whole bunch of other stuff. I do all kinds of stuff over here. You can check that out. You can also, if you want to see more videos like this, more videos by my teacher, Michael William Denney, then you can go ahead and subscribe right here. Hit that like button and subscribe and all that. I see 90% of you guys are not subscribed, so if you enjoy the channel, then subscribe, please. Alrighty, and, all the links and stuff are up here. Linktree/GabOutTheShaman, that's where you can check out my astrology readings. I do birth time rectifications. I do distance energy healing. I do career coaching, life coaching, and, so that's all available for you. And I also do shamanic ritual magic courses. So, if you are interested in shamanism, you can check out my shamanic ritual magic courses. Those are basically geared towards helping you overcome all your unconscious blocks, removing all your unconscious blocks, and basically it goes into the 9 levels of your psyche, which is your unconscious mind, and goes in there and destroys all your blocks. So it's very powerful. And so I have the Fehu wealth ritual up there right now. So that's a wealth ritual that will destroy any unconscious blocks around not being worthy of wealth, not wanting wealth, not, because we all have those blocks in our lives. So anyway, guys, yeah, I will talk to you guys later. I do all kinds of stuff. I do Qigong. So this is a shamanic practice right here, Qigong. And the other Qigong right here, Self-Transformation Challenge, is very powerful. So if you want to check those out, go to patreon.com/GabalTheShaman. Alrighty guys, so I think that's about it for today, and we will talk to you next time. Alrighty, peace.